ADF can make the scale drop much faster than 16-8, but weight loss is not helpful if you look like a plucked chicken afterwards. So which fasting method protects muscle better? Today, ADF and 16-8 compete across 5 rounds. Each method receives a score from 0 to 10. 10 means excellent muscle protection. 0 means your biceps are filing a missing person report. At the end, we add the scores and choose the winner. I'm Dennis, a German aerospace engineer and fitness coach. On this channel, we build bodies like systems. Let's load the stat screen. Round 1, the direct muscle result. This is the most important round because researchers directly compared the two methods. 76 adults were assigned to strict alternate day fasting, 16-8, or a controlled group for 4 weeks. The ADF group alternated between 0-calorie fasting days and unrestricted eating days. The 16-8 group ate between noon and 8 p.m. And the researchers used whole body MRI to measure fat and muscle tissue. ADF produced much faster weight loss, about 2.6 kilograms more than the controlled group. 16-8 lost only about 0.75 kilograms more than control, but ADF also reduced muscle tissue volume compared with both 16-8 and control. So in absolute muscle preservation, 16-8 wins this round, but there's an important catch. ADF reduced energy intake by around 34%. 16-8 reduced it only by 15%. So this trial does not prove that ADF itself destroys muscle. It may show that losing weight faster through a larger deficit also increases muscle loss. So ADF 5 out of 10, 16-8 9 out of 10. Round 2, muscle protein synthesis. Now we test the mechanism. Does fasting for an entire day automatically switch off muscle building? In a short controlled study, middle-aged men followed modified ADF continuous calorie restriction or a maintenance diet. Calories and protein were controlled. Researchers then measured daily muscle protein synthesis, and there was no meaningful difference between the groups. ADF did not automatically suppress muscle protein synthesis. A separate controlled study tested an 8-hour eating window. Again, when calories and protein were matched, 16-8 did not reduce daily muscle protein synthesis. So neither method appears to damage muscle simply because of the fasting schedule. The problem is usually not the clock. It is the total deficit, protein intake, training stimulus, and recovery. ADF 8 out of 10, 16-8 8 out of 10. Round 3, training and strength. Muscle is not preserved by fasting harder. It is preserved by giving your body a reason to keep it. That reason is resistance training. Several studies have combined 16-8 with weight training. Trained and untrained men maintained lean mass, muscle size, and strength while using an 8-hour eating window. Not every result was perfect, and 16-8 does not guarantee muscle retention. But the overall pattern is reassuring when people continue lifting and eat enough protein. ADF has less evidence with structured resistance training. One study combining ADF with endurance exercise maintained lean mass while reducing fat. That shows muscle loss is not inevitable. But endurance training is not the strongest tool for preserving muscle during a diet, because 16-8 has more direct resistance training evidence. It wins this round. ADF 6 out of 10. 16-8 9 out of 10. Round 4, quality of weight loss. Now ADF gets its comeback round. In the direct MRI trial, ADF lost more muscle tissue, but it also lost far more fat. The reduction in fat volume was almost 3 times larger than with 16-8. As a result, the ratio of fat loss to lean tissue loss was actually better with ADF. That creates 2 different questions. Which method loses the least muscle? 16-8. Which method produces a larger total body composition change? ADF. So calling ADF a muscle loss disaster would be misleading. It was more aggressive. It removed more tissue overall, but most of that additional loss was fat. So ADF gets 9 out of 10, 16-8 gets 7 out of 10. Round 5. Real-world execution. Now we leave the laboratory. To preserve muscle, you generally want resistance training, enough protein, and a calorie deficit that is not unnecessarily severe. 16-8 makes this relatively simple. You can eat 2 or 3 protein-rich meals every day. You can place food before or after training, and your calorie deficit is usually easier to adjust gradually. ADF is more difficult. On fasting days, strict ADF provides no calories and no protein. On eating days, you must recover, train, and consume enough protein without turning the day into an uncontrolled overeating. That does not make ADF impossible, but it gives you fewer opportunities to make mistakes. For someone prioritizing maximum muscle retention, 6 and 8 is a safer system. ADF 5 out of 10, 6 and 8 9 out of 10. Final score. ADF finishes with 33 points. 6 and 8 finishes with 42. The muscle preservation champion is 16-8, but the verdict is conditional. Choose 16-8 if you're resistance training, already relatively lean, concerned about performance, or trying to retain as much muscle as possible. Choose ADF if faster fat loss or stronger appetite control matters more, and you accept that a larger deficit may increase absolute muscle loss. Whichever method you choose, the fasting schedule is not the main protection system. Resistance training gives your body the signal. Protein gives it the material, and a controlled calorie deficit reduces how much tissue must be sacrificed. Next, watch ADF versus OMAD to see which method produces faster weight loss and which method creates more hunger.